Alright everybody, if you've watched the September garden update, this is the update to that update. So about the last week of September, after we had some substantial rain, check out what's growing. 3 weeks later. Alright, we got some of our pumpkins, finally making some pumpkins. A lot of blooms though, and they do taste good, cooked up and sauteed. Got some Roselle hibiscus here that will make those, take those buds and be used for tea. And our eggplant, Black Beauty eggplant, is flowering again and producing some eggplants that we'll finally get. We had one over the summer. And here's our Greg's Mist Blue Flower that is Greg's Blue Mist Flower to attract butterflies. Yeah, gotta bring a chicken or goat if you want to come to the garden. Then we have more native blue mist flower and our blue spirea. And our peppers are now, with the cooler weather, really taking off. Our Hungarian wax peppers, and planted some chives recently, so get our herbs back up. Here is our cherry tomato bed. So we have the micro cherry tomatoes and the standard. They're blooming and producing. And this used to be our squash bed. So we have some of our cucumbers that are still producing. We have some of our purple whole peas that have beans. Yes, and we have a milkweed outside of the bed. And some sunflowers that we're trying to save seed from. And so here's our honeydew melon patch, and these guys have really gone crazy. So really producing, and when they're overripe, they taste like cantaloupe. We got some squash here. We planted some beet seeds and some of those French breakfast radishes as well. So if grasshoppers don't get them, we'll have radishes and beets. And we're letting some of our basil go to seed because we have a lot of basil. More basil and sugar snap and snow peas. So as of this morning, the grasshoppers are munching on it. So I don't know if we're going to have any of those sugar or snow peas left. But we do have watermelon. We have about 4 to 5 watermelons growing. That's our big boy there. Hopefully it'll ripen up in the next week or so. And trim back some of the vines on the end so all that nutrients can go straight to those melons. Our okra are still producing. We've cut back some of the okra down a little bit so it can resprout. Jalapenos didn't do too well, but they're coming back. And then our southern peas, we're picking a few pods each day. And more cherry tomatoes, and I think they're called ruby red tomatoes, so they're smaller, or smaller than a plum tomato, bigger than cherry. And then some seedlings that popped up in our compost bed, more tomatoes. And corn. So this is peaches and cream corn. We bought like $1 packet that was on clearance somewhere. So those cool little silks producing that like peaches and cream color. So hopefully in the next week or so we'll be able to pick some corn. And our sweet potato bed and our potato beds. So only have a few potatoes popping up that we planted. So hopefully they stick around. But in between the sweet potato bed there, we got our squashes. So our butternut squash is ripening up. There is a lot. I picked about 5 the other day, but there's like 10 or 20 more. They're all hidden in there. So when we picked the sweet potatoes, we trimmed back the vines, and that just created new growth for that. And now that it's cooler and we had some rain, they're starting to explode again. The acorn squash, there's only a few plants left there, so I believe there's one right in there. There we go. So we got a couple acorn squash, and maybe when the vines die back, we'll get more. Our delicata squash, which we planted next to our heirloom zucchini. This was another $1 packet that we planted, so got a few mounds of those. So we have some late zucchini. Hopefully we get more delicata squash, but something is eating that. I'm blaming it on the grasshoppers. So, yeah. And our American persimmon tree. Love it. Made some spiced persimmon apple butter the other day.
Thanks y'all for watching. Until next time.